Welcome, and welcome to Hatha Flow. My name is Amy Sullivan. I am a yoga teacher as well as a health and nutrition coach. And today we are going to be doing 60-minute Hatha Vinyasa. So I thought, because I went to a delicious yoga class on Wednesday, we slowed everything down, and I was reminded of how nice it is to just take things a little bit slower, hold in poses a little bit longer. So taking that inspiration from my class on Wednesday, we are going to slow things down a little bit today. You're still going to get a whole full body experience, but we are going to just get a little bit more into each pose, and that's an opportunity to sink down low into it and really feel into the posture, feel into your breath. And we are in that time of year when it's good, but just at any time of year when life starts to ramp us up. I don't know about you, but when I get really into work mode, I can start to feel things lifting like this. So it's nice to be able to tell myself, my mantra is, you have all the time in the world. And I know that technically that's not true, but telling myself that over and over does help bring things down. So today's flow, today's sequence is going to actually mimic that in our postures, but we are also going to do it in our breath. And so today we're going to start in a simple, easy sitting pose, Sukhasana. And we're going to stay sitting for a little while. So if it's more comfortable for you to sit in a chair for the first 5-6 minutes of class, I welcome you to sit in a chair. Just make sure if you are seated in a chair, I don't know if you can see my chair. If you are seated in a chair, make sure your feet are grounded in the earth. And if you are sitting on the mat, make sure that your hips are grounded. I'm just going to make sure everybody's muted here. We get started. So finding your comfortable seat. I don't know why it's not letting me mute people. Make sure. Your comfortable seat here. Well, I'm going to show you our breath. We're going to start with alternate nostril breathing here. So I'm going to come up a little closer to the camera so you can see what's going on. Alternate nostril breathing is an opportunity to breathe in one nostril, out the other, and then we swap. And the concept is that as we breathe in here and channel, each side of your nostril is connected to the opposite side of your brain. So when we're switching off with intention and slowing things down, we start to balance the sides of the brain. And that can lead to a little bit more calming, a little bit more centering, a little bit more focus. So from your comfortable seat, I will do a comfortable squat in front of you so you can see. You're going to start by sitting. You can put your right hand in Gyan Mudra, seated on your lap. So that's bringing your thumb and your forefinger together. And then just let it rest on your knee in your seated position. And then from there, so that's your left hand. Take your other hand, your right hand, put your thumb onto your nostril from here. And then you're just going to inhale through this open nostril. So nice, big, slow inhale. Then you're going to take your pointer finger, put it on the left nostril, and release the breath through the right nostril. Maintaining that hold, inhale back through the right nostril, the one that's open. And then switch, put the thumb back on the right nostril. Breathe out through the left. Inhale left. Put your finger on the left nostril. Exhale right. Inhale right. And exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale right, and you're just going to go on your own for a few more rounds. Option to close your eyes here. Allowing your breath to balance out the sides of your brain. And now remove your hand from your nose. Take a nice big inhale through both nostrils. And let it out. Flutter your eyes open if they were closed. And we're just gonna start with getting into our shoulders. So let's do some shoulder rolls here. Roll them back down, up towards your ears, and back down your spine and around. Make them nice and big and exaggerated. And then come opposite direction. Take them to the front, just as big and exaggerated. Beautiful job. And then come to stillness here with your shoulders. We're going to go into eagle arms. So I like to get into eagle by starting by extending my arms out to either side, and then cross your right arm under, left arm over. You're going to make the letter X, facing at the elbows. And then bring your right thumb to your nose. And stick your tongue out. Actually, that's not part of the pose. That gives you the idea. So right thumb comes in, then the left hand is going to wrap around to the left, and then maybe your hands clap. This is a wrapped up, wound up pose. This may not work for your shoulders this morning. Option to grab onto opposite shoulders. It's the same concept, a little less snug and tight. And then from here in your eagle pose, inhale. Exhale, gently lift your fingertips toward the sky. Feel a little lift through your elbows. We're going to get into the back of the right shoulder. The back of the right shoulder, that's where I'm feeling it. In a couple different degrees. Gently lower your fingertips down. Inhale. Exhale, send your fingertips away from your face toward the front. And they may just go an inch or two, and that's just fine. And notice how the stretch has slightly changed position, perhaps. Inhale, raise your fingertips back up. And exhale, draw them over to the left. Again, they might just go an inch or two. And now once again, the stretch has changed, just ever so slightly. Inhale, bring your fingertips back up. And exhale, unwind your arms. And shake it out. We'll do the other side. So this time the left arm is going to come underneath. Right arm comes over. Make that X. And this time your left thumb comes to touch your nose. And then your right hand wraps around. You don't have to touch your nose for these. It just gives you an idea of which hand goes under, over, or you're grabbing onto opposite shoulders. And then from here, inhale, lift your fingertips up. Lift your elbows up. Come back to breath here. Maybe you close your eyes. That feels comfortable. Inhale as you bring your fingertips down to center. Exhale, send your fingertips away from your face. Noticing the new position of the stretch. And inhale, bring your fingertips back up toward the sky. Exhale, send them off to the right. In line with the top arm, so the top arm is shoulder. So the right arm should be on top, technically. You're sending the fingertips over to the right. And then inhale, come back to center. And unwind from here. Beautiful. Pull those shoulders out, shake your arms out. Inhale, arms up. Actually, wait, before we do that, let's switch the crossing of our legs. We've been sitting here for a while. So whatever leg you had in front, swap it out. Give your body a chance to even out in all the different ways. We tend to have a tendency to put one in front of the other, so we're gonna make sure we stay balanced. Now, inhale, arms up. And exhale, bend your left elbow. Send your hand down behind your head. Maybe your right hand comes to assist. Grab onto the elbow and gently pull up the elbow more towards your head. You should feel a little stretch along the outside of your left shoulder. Side body. Inhale, grow even longer through your spine. And then exhale, if it feels okay, start to slightly bend over to your right. Now you're adding an enhancement of your tricep stretch, but you're also opening into your side ribs. Breathe into that. Just forming up through our shoulders, our neck. Inhale, come back to center with both arms up. A little shake. We'll do the other side, so bend your right elbow now. Use your left hand to guide that elbow up. Maybe you even pull it up toward the sky first to lengthen and then bring it towards your face. Your right hand, the hand behind your body, will make its way somewhere behind your head, behind your back. And take a nice breath in here. Breathe into the tight spots, the crevices. And as you exhale, a slight bend to the left if that feels okay. Start to add the opening of your ribs into the mix here. Root down through your hips as you bend over. Keep grounding. And then inhale, come back to center. Release your hands. Keep them up in the air. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to your right from your belly center. So your front arm, your left arm will land down on your right knee. Your right hand will come down, maybe to your side, perhaps behind you. Let it press into the mat. And then use your hands to help accentuate the twist. You're twisting right from your belly button. Inhale as you grow longer. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. One more big inhale here. And exhale, unwind, come back to the center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, twist to your left. Right hand on your knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, go even longer through your spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Arms up one last time, just to even out. Stretch into it. And exhale, bring them down. Now we're going to move on to our hands and knees for tabletops and cat-cows. So making your way to your mat, align your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders. And Claire, since I can see you, can you hear music? Can you give me a thumbs up if you hear music? Okay, cool. I've turned the volume down because it picks up on my microphone, but I want to make sure you guys get these things. Okay, cool. Thank you. Spread your fingertips out nice and wide. Wrists underneath your shoulders. Now engage your abs in just to protect your lower spine. And press your hands into the mat. Press your shins and your knees and your feet into the mat. And from here, inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down, lift your hips up. Shine your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Look forward, look up, and lengthen through your throat. One opening through your front body. And now exhale, cat pose, tuck your hips, tuck your chin. Lift your spine toward the sky. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Reach down into your hands to enhance the stretch. And just feel into the opening of your back body. Now we'll take a few more in just a flow. Inhale, cow pose, belly down, heart forward, hips up. Exhale, cat. Tuck and round, lift your spine. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cat. Let's do that one more time in that flow. Inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And now from here, we're going to just do a circle of your hips and your head. So start by coming into cat pose. So your hips are down, your head is down here. And then start to roll into cow. So roll both hip and head to the right. Then up, find yourself in cow pose. Roll to the left. And just make a little circle. You can go at your own pace here, slow or a little faster. Whatever feels natural, feels good to you. And then switch directions. So now roll yourself the other way. They say you are as young as your spine is flexible. So these moves, these roundings, these cat-cows, not only do they bring the circulation into your entire body, which is great for all functioning in the movement, but they also waken your spine up and keep you flexible, which will help your mobility, less pain, ideally. That's why I recommend these every day, even if you have 2 minutes for yoga. You come back to center. By your neutral spine here, engage your abs in once more, root down through your hands. Inhale as you tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up. And from here, this first down dog, pedal your feet out to start wakening up the backs of your legs. So bend one knee as you straighten the other. Root down into your hands. Evenly send weight into the ball mount of your pointer finger and your thumb to protect your wrist. Then send that energy upward through your arms. Rotate your armpits toward one another. Send your belly button towards your thighs. Rotate your inner thighs toward the back of your space. Just spread your sit bones nice and wide. Come find stillness in your down dog now. Maybe you're up on your toes, maybe your heels are heading toward the ground. It's more about lengthening your spine than heels on the ground, so bending your knees is just fine. One more big inhale here. And as you exhale, look forward, bend your knees, step up to the top of your mat, find ragdoll pose. Keep your feet hips width apart here. Bend your knees as much as you need to, maybe you bend them a lot. And you rest your chest, your torso on your thighs. Just feel an opening of your spine, option to grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe sway side to side. Shake your head yes and no. Once again, you could play with bending and straightening your leg. And then release your arms down if they're interlaced. Root down through your feet. And start to pull yourself up to standing. Tuck your pelvis under, roll forward, going backward, and nice and slow. And roll your shoulders back and down. Come up, standing at attention. And good morning, everyone. So you're at the top of your mat. I'm turning just to face you. Option to keep your feet at hips width apart. That'll give you a little more stability. Or you can bring your big toes to touch one another. The sliver of space between your heels. Either way, root down through your feet. Tuck your pelvis slightly under, lift through your hip points, knit your abs in. Inhale, mountain pose, lift your hands up to the sky. Pause here. Your palms face toward one another, pinkies facing forward, look up between your hands. Rotate your armpits toward one another, lengthen through your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, side stretch to the right. Option to grab onto your left wrist or bring your right hand down, left arm over. Root down through your feet so you come up and over like you're leaning over something. And press your hips out to the left to find more opening for your side body. That looks beautiful there. Inhale, rise back up. Arms up. Other side, friend. Exhale, side bend to the left. Left arm down, right arm up. Square your shoulders off with each other so you really feel the opening on the side body. Once again, stay grounded through your feet. It's very smooth and focused, Bessie. I love it. Inhale, back up, mountain pose. And exhale, micro back bend. So cactus your arms out wide as you lift your heart toward the sky and look up at the ceiling. Press down through your feet, tuck your tailbone under just a little bit to protect your lower spine. And inhale, rise back up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you travel down. Again, allowing gravity to give you a little expansion of your spine. Just dangle for one more moment. And then inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands on your shins, maybe even your thighs. So, and breathe here so that you can parallel your torso to the mat. Roll your shoulder blades down towards your tailbone and root down into your feet. So as though you're peering over a cliff, looking at something cool like the ocean waves crashing below. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, plant your palms. We'll step back to a high plank here. Option to come to your knees, of course. Maybe it looks like this, but spread your fingers nice and wide, root down through your hands to fire up your chest muscles, knit your abs into your spine, and roll your inner thighs up toward the ceiling. Flex through your heels, and feel your belly firing up nice and strong. Inhale, come slightly forward. And exhale, lower halfway down. Keep your elbows in nice and close. Maybe you drop to your knees for this. Keep your abs tucked in. When you come to halfway down here, inhale, upward facing dog. Draw your hands back and your heart forward. Roll your shoulder blades back down. Pause here, feel an opening through your front body. Press your feet into the mat to lift your thighs off the mat, perhaps. You also keep your thighs down if that feels better on your back. Crack your heart open toward the front of your space as you inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, abs and legs, lift your hips up. And reset, reacquaint yourself with this second downward dog of the practice. And notice maybe it feels different already than the first down dog. And come back to breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your belly and your chest. And on your next inhale, come to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees slightly, look forward. And at the end of your exhale, forward fold. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Moving on from here. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heart guide you down. Let it go first. It knows the way. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms. Step your right foot back now, all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. Inhale, low crescent. So rise up. Pause here and let's find your base before we add the arms. So you're looking for a nice stretch through your front hip, through your front psoas here on the right. So tuck your pelvis under a little bit, lift up through your hip points, and then knit your abs in to lengthen. So you have a nice long spine here. If you're not feeling anything on the stretch in the front hip, walk your front foot forward just a smidge, and then recommit to that tuck, lift, lengthen. Then you find your base here nice and strong. Lift your arms up. Maybe you interlace your fingers. Allow your pointer finger to shoot up toward the sky. Like a little arrow. Inhale here. Nice big exhale. Just feeling into this new pose. Feeling into the stretch in the front of your hip. One more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. And from here, we're gonna flow into splits, back and splits and drooping forward. So as you can see, I'm coming forward into this low lunge, and I'm allowing my right hip, the back hip, to come down toward the mat. So nice deep stretch. My hands are supporting, my abs are in. And then I'm gonna exhale, shift my hips back over my heels as I straighten my front leg, lift the foot off, the toe off the ground. So now my heel is on the mat here, and I'm working towards straight. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. You should feel a nice little stretch in your hamstring. Walk your hands back to help keep supporting, keep your abs in. Send your heart forward and up to lengthen through your spine. And just pause here and feel a little stretch. Draw your front pinky toe back towards your body. Send the big toe away. Notice how that changed the sensation, the stretch. We're gonna flow with this, my friends, back and forth. So as we inhale, bring your hands forward. And draw your hips forward. So inhale, low lunge with a nice big stretch. Exhale, draw your hands back, hips back, straighten your front leg. Half split. Exhale, walk forward. Inhale, stretch your back, half split. Yeah. Nice and slow, nice and juicy. Let's do one more in our flow. Inhale as you come back into your half splits. Exhale, walk forward to find that low lunge. Plant your palms this time. Tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee. So now you're in a more active low lunge. Inhale here, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your front foot back. Lift your hips up. Root down into your hands, root down into the balls of your feet. Send your belly button towards your thighs, roll your thighs, take the back of your space. Lengthen through your spine. Inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. So let you bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Step to the floor, hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, root down, rise up. Lift your fingertips up to the sky. Look up. Exhale, forward fold. And back in. Nice and slow and intentional. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step your left foot back this time. All the way back. So you've got our nice low lunge here that's active. Now drop your back knee down, untuck your back toes, and inhale up to low crescent. Find your base here once again. So you've got that nice stretch, this time through the left hip. Root down through the heel of your front foot, bend through your front knee, and then tuck your pelvis under. Hip points come up, knit your abs in, lengthen through your spine. And then when you found that solid structure of grounding down, then you lift your arms up. And maybe you interlace your hands once again with the pointer finger facing up. Or maybe they're separate. Or maybe that doesn't feel good today and you want your hands on your hips. Choose your yoga adventure and come back into your breath. Notice the parts of your body that are contacting the mat. Feel them grounding down, supporting. Now notice the parts of your body that are rising up toward the sky. Your fingertips, your arms lengthening, your shoulders lifting, your spine growing longer. And inhale here, lengthen even more. Exhale, fold your low lunge, plant your palms to frame your front foot. And we're going to do that nice deep hip stretch. So drop your left hip forward, feel a nice opening through the left thigh now. And lean onto your front leg here. Little mini runner's lunge. One more inhale here. Nice big exhale. And then in your next inhale, start to draw your hips back over your heel. Towards the back of your mat. Walk your hands along with you. Start to straighten your front leg. Lift your toes off the mat. And tense your fingers down here so that you can lift your chest up and lengthen through your spine to grow longer on your inhale. And as you exhale, it's almost like you're folding over your front thigh from your hips. Gently draw your right hip back, left hip forward. That changed the stretch. That changed the stretch for me. Made it a little more intense in the hamstring. Now we're going to flow. Keep that slight bend in your knee even here to protect your knee. So as we exhale, come forward. Drop your left hip down nice and low. Bend through your front knee. Inhale, come back, half splits. Draw your hips back, lift your front toes, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, walk it forward. And inhale, walk it back. Exhale, walk it forward. And inhale, walk it back. And now we'll come forward, moving on from here. So coming forward, plant your palms down onto the mat. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. And pedal your knees out a little bit. Take a nice deep inhale here. Big open mouth exhale, slide it out. Let something go as you exhale that you no longer need. And then inhale your right leg high, right up to the sky. Flex through your lifted leg. Draw your toes down toward the mat. Maybe inhale here, lengthen from your fingertips to the lifted heel. And exhale, low lunge. Step your right leg all the way through. Now fan your back foot out 45 degrees. Keep the bend in your front knee. And inhale, warrior two. Windmill your arms up. I'm gonna rotate around so you can still see my face. So once again, let's find our base. And once we find our grounding on our base, we can lift up and play up here. So root down through the heel of your front foot. Keep a bend in your front knee. Align your knee with the second and third toe, so that thigh might need to be rolled out a little bit. You should start to feel an opening through your inner hip. At the same time, stamp your the back outer knife edge of your back foot down to give you grounding over there. And then square your hips somewhat. They don't have to make it all the way, but they're trending toward the wide edge of your mat, your hips and your heart. And then once you've found that, that's your strong base, then extend your arms out in either direction. Stretch your fingertips wide, end to end, and then gaze over your right fingertips. And just pause here. And come back to your breath. Inhale as you sink a little bit lower. Exhale, extended side angle. So start to reach directly out in front of you. Reach, reach, reach. Something you want is right there in front of you. Tilting your hip forward. And then, when you can go no further forward, bring your right arm down, left arm up, and twist from your belly, shine your heart out. That looks beautiful, June. I'm squinting to see your name because I'm blind. I don't have my glasses on, but your extended side angle looks gorgeous. So option here, my friends, to press your lower hand, your right hand, into your lower thigh and actually use it a little bit as support as well as a hip opener. Or you can slide it down. Maybe it hits the ground if that feels okay and supports on the ground. It's a deeper stretch. Make sure you're not dumping into your lower abs there. One more big inhale. One more big exhale as you root down even more into both feet. Inhale, reverse triangle. Press into your feet to lift you up. Straighten your front knee here. Swap your arms. So now your right arm, your front arm is up in the air. Your back arm might be resting on the back thigh. Maybe it wraps around a little bit. Root into the ball of your front foot now. Allow for a little micro bend in your front knee to support it. And then use your hand to press up toward the sky, and then maybe you lean back a little bit. So just like we did when we were sitting and doing the side stretch, or standing and doing the side stretch, we're looking to open through the front side ribs. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, just bring your hands to the center like our warrior two hands. We're gonna go into triangle pose here. So shorten your stance just a little bit. Walk your foot in so there's a little bit less space here. Keep this front leg straight. Arms up. Lengthen through your spine. Inhale, start to reach forward just as you did before. Keeping that front leg mostly straight. And then, once again, right arm down, left arm up. Shine your heart out. And your hand could rest on your thigh, if that feels okay. Maybe it's down on your shin. And once again, allowing length to be maintained on both sides of your torso, perhaps it makes its way down to the mat. Or maybe on a block, if you have a block. If not, legs are really good for propping up arms. And then keep rooting down into the ball of your front foot, outer knife edge of your back foot. Press down through both your feet. Inhale, rise back up. You did it. Bring both feet toward the center wide edge of your mat. Shake your legs out. Walk your feet together. And come back up to the top of your mat. And do the other side from here. Inhale, arms up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant your palms, step down, back to downward facing dog option. If you want a little more intensity today, come through a vinyasa, lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from this nice rich down dog, inhale, left leg high. Lift it up, extend it long up in the air behind you. Flex your lifted foot. Knit your abs in towards your chest to support your back. Press into your hips. Inhale here. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left leg through between your hands. Fan your back foot out. Keep a bend in your front knee. Inhale, rise up, warrior two, windmill your arms up. And now new side, same pose, but new side, so new pose. So find your base once again, bend into your front knee. Keep your knee over your ankle or a little bit behind it. And then open through your hip, stamp into the outer back edge of the back foot. Shine your heart and hips toward the wide edges of your mat, and then extend your fingers out. Gaze over your left fingertips this time. And settle in here. Sometimes as we slow down, it can be different, something we're not used to. It certainly happened for me. And it can feel a little uncomfortable at first. So the opportunity here is to use your breath and this feeling into your body. Just focus on what is now. That is this pose, that is this warrior two. Nothing else matters right now. Inhale, sink a little bit lower into your pose. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach out in front of you, reach, 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 reach. And then left arm down, right arm up. Shine your heart out once again. Press your left arm, your lower arm into your inner left thigh to really open through your hip while maintaining the pressing into the back, outer knife edge of the back foot. Even grounded feet, opening your hips. And then once again, your arm could, maybe your lower hand makes it to the mat, if that feels okay. Not something to force. I almost never go there. I just want a nice juicy hip and side stretch. Root down through both your feet. Inhale, reverse triangle. Rise back up. Swap your arms. So now your front arm's up, back arm's down, and straighten through your front leg. Shift the weight into the ball of your front foot now. And then your back arm could either be resting here on the back thigh, or maybe you wrap it around your body. Find a little half bind. Get into your shoulder. And really send the top of the front arm, that top arm, up toward the ceiling. And then maybe you add a little side bend, which feels okay. Continue rooting down through both your feet. One more big inhale here. Feel that stretch through your side ribs. Exhale, bring your hands to warrior two hands, so out, extending in either direction, and then shorten your stance. Walk the back foot in, one big step. Keep your front leg straight, arms out, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose on this side. As you inhale, start to reach out in front of you, tilt your pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, come down to triangle, left arm down, right arm up, shine your heart out. Your hand, your lower hand could be resting on your shin, thigh, the floor, a block, something that will give it support. Option to look down at the ground or maybe up at your top hand. Looking up will be more of a balance challenge in general, but it's a great opportunity to play with it. And come back to your breath here. And then root down through both your feet. Inhale, rise back up. And face both toes toward the wide edge of your mat. And shake your legs out, heel toe your feet in. So now you're facing the wide edge of your mat. The feet together. So you guys remember those eagle arms we did at the beginning of class? We are going to take those and add our legs into full eagle pose. So starting with right arm under. You have arms out, so make the X, right arm under, left arm over. Bring that right thumb towards your nose and wrap the left hand around, or wrapping onto opposite shoulders if that feels better. So now you've found your arms. As you inhale, shift the weight into your left foot and wrap your outer left hip in. So really fire up your left buttock, your glute. Lift your right heel off maybe just off the mat. Keep your toes on the ground here. And as you are ready, start to bend both your knees, sink your hips back, and then maybe you cross your right leg over your left. And then once you've crossed your legs, squeeze your thighs together. Perhaps that foot wraps around the standing shin, maybe not. We're always heading toward something in yoga. The most important thing is to root down squarely into the left foot, evenly through the four corners of the left foot, and wrap that outer left buttock in and squeeze your thighs together. That's your foundation. And then if it feels all right, can you sink a little bit lower, bending your knees a little bit lower. Focus on something you know for a fact is not going to move. And if you fall out of it, it's fine. Come back in. One more inhale here. And exhale, come back, unwind, come back to center. Incredible focus, Francesca. I love it. Okay, other side, my friends. Let's start with our arms. Left arm under, right arm over. And wrap them around. So you clap your hands or arms on opposite shoulders. Find your spot. And then start to shift everything over to your right foot. Squeeze your right buttock, fire up your right thigh. Lift your left heel off the ground. And then as you are ready, across your left leg over your right. Bend your knees, sink your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Knit your abs in to support your spine. And then squeeze your thighs together. Finding your eagle pose on the other side. And then play around with it. See if you can sink down a little bit lower. And maybe you lift your elbows up as you sink your hips back. And we call this low flying, hovering eagle. And come back to your breath, come back to your focus. One more big breath here. And as you exhale, unwind, unravel. And shake your legs out. Beautiful job, you did it. Walk your way up to the top of your mat. We're gonna head on down to the floor. So you can choose if you want this to be a little more active or a little more restorative. I will walk you through both. So inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tuck and curl. So bring your chest to your thighs, bend your knees, lift your heels. Put your hands on the floor to support you. And we're gonna come back into our bum on the ground, into seated. So you can use your hands. Here, I'll show you restorative first. Restorative, hands walk back, gently lower hips down. And you're there. If you want a little more active, you're gonna engage your abs to bring you down. So hands will come up, and then you roll down onto your heels and come into boat pose for a moment. So this is all chest up, abs in. So you choose how you get there and find your way to a seated pose. Keep your knees bent. Love it. Great variations, great expressions. Bring your hips forward and then roll yourself slowly down onto your back. Have that towel, have that strap, whatever you're going to use close by, so you can find it. And then once you've found your back to the mat, walk your heels in towards your bum. And make sure you have a neutral spine here, so you don't want your lower back to be too far lifted. There can be a little sliver of space in your lower spine, but for the most part, you are pretty even on your spine along the mat. Heels come close to your bum, and bring your hands next to your hips, palms facing down. From here, root into your heels, root into your hands. Tuck your pelvis under, lift up, bridge pose. Engage your abs to help lift your hips up. Press into your heels to lift you higher. Roll your inner thighs toward one another. Imagine your tailbone going toward your knees, tucking it under. Imagine your knees going away from you. And if it feels okay, perhaps you interlace your hands underneath you and roll your shoulders under. And take a little breath here. Do a little heart opener through the front body. And then when you're ready, roll down slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Your tailbone will be the last thing to arrive. And then from here, hug both knees into your chest. And maybe you rock side to side, using your hands on your knees as a guide. Draw little circles with your knees. Give your spine a little massage. In reverse directions if you're making circles. And then come back to center. Place your left foot onto the mat, your knee is still bent. Grab onto your strap, your towel. So I'm going to give you two options here. You can keep this right knee bent because we're going to go in and out with our hip. So you can keep your knee bent through the whole thing. Or if you want to get into a little bit of hamstring as well as hip, give your leg a straighten. Keep the knee bent for a moment while you wrap your strap, your towel over the ball area of your foot, and then if it feels okay, start to straighten that leg. You can keep that micro bend, you can keep a bigger bend, whatever feels good to you. Start to edge your way towards straightening. So stamp your flat foot, flex your foot, regardless of whether your knee is bent or not, toward the ceiling. And as you flex your foot, pull into your strap so that you're pulling your leg, your hip, pressing it down into the mat. And if you want to, if you're feeling really open today, you're welcome to experiment with lengthening your left leg as well. That's going to make things a lot more intense. So it's just fine to keep it bent. But if it feels okay, you're welcome to straighten it. And then come back to your breath here. And if you're bending your knee, just hug that knee into your chest. Give it a nice squeeze. Otherwise, your knee is straight. So those are your choices. And then from here, if your knee is straight, shift the strap, the towel, into your right hand. So right leg is up, right hand is holding the towel. Left hand is going to come down on your left hip to help keep your left hip on the floor. And then gently start to guide your right leg out to the right. Use the hand holding onto the towel or the strap to assist you in making that stay comfortable. So not going too far. It's okay to keep that micro bend in your right knee. And just feel into continue to balance that out by drawing your left hip back down to the mat. And if you are keeping your knees bent for this, use your hand to guide your knee out to the left. So same action. It's just either your leg is straight or it's bent. Same stretch, same action. Take another nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, draw your right leg back to center. And then gently guide it toward the left. So start to bring it across your body. If your leg is straight, this is going to be probably a very small action. You bring it kind of in toward your face and over to the left. You should feel a nice big stretch through your outer right hip into your glute. If your knee is bent, you are also drawing that knee across your body. Maybe it's easier to go a little deeper with the bent knee. One more big breath here. And then exhale, draw that leg back to center. And this time, bend your knee, remove the towel, remove the strap. Bring both knees into your chest. Wherever you are, if you have the bent or straightened, bring everything in to realign your spine. We're going to do the other side. So draw your right heel down to the mat, keep your knee bent. And if you're going for straight legs, wrap the towel, the strap around your left foot this time, right around the ball of the foot area. And then start to straighten through your leg. Flex your lifted foot, stamp it toward the ceiling. And then use your hands on the strap to gently draw your toes toward your face. Maybe they just go an inch or two. As you pull your leg down toward the mat so your hip is pressing into the mat. It's a very subtle action. It's not a big motion, but you can feel it. And then if it feels okay, you're welcome to experiment with straightening your right leg. That is going to intensify things. And if you're keeping your left knee bent for all of this, hug it nice and tight into your chest. Start to send the knee towards your armpit, your left armpit. And wherever you are, come back to your breath. Anytime you're in a nice, deep, intense stretch, the breath is your guide to help send fresh oxygen-rich blood into those nooks and crannies that are tight. So breathe into those spaces. It knows where to go. Let's open our hips now. So bring both sides of your towel, your strap, into your left hand. Then bring your right hand down to your right hip. Press down on your right hip. And then start to draw your left leg out to the left. And hand on the strap as your guide. Keep your left foot flexed as you open. Keep returning your right hip back down to keep your hips steady on the mat. If your knee is bent, use your hands to guide your knee out to the left. Same thing, we're feeling an opening through the inner groin on the left, inner thigh. Now we have a new edge, a new place where tightness holds. So inhale here, breathe into that space. And then gently come back to center as you exhale. Shift the hand grip. So now you're going to hold on to that towel, that thing with your right hand. And then pull your foot slightly towards your face. An inch or two, maybe it goes. And then start to draw it over to the left. It's probably not going to move very far. You should feel a pretty intense stretch through your outer left hip. And if you're bending your knee, draw your left knee across your body. Feel that outer hip stretch. And once again, come back to your breath. Then your next exhale, draw your leg back up to center. Bend your right knee, the knee that might be stretched out. So your right foot's on the mat. Bend your left knee, remove that strap. And hug both knees into your chest. Make a little ball here. And we'll do a quick and gentle supine twist on each side. So hug your right knee in. Maybe your left leg comes out long, and then draw your right knee across your chest. This time, a nice deep twisty supine twist here. As you draw your knee across your body, Send your shoulders back down toward the mat. Maybe they make it all the way, maybe they don't. Option to extend your right arm out behind you, maybe look back to the right. That feels okay. Nice deep breath in. Nice big exhale. And then gently come back to center. Hug both knees into your chest once again to even out your spine. And then we'll do the other side. Extend your right leg long. Hug your left knee in. Exhale. Draw your left leg across your body. Supine twist in the other direction. It feels all right. Send your left arm out behind you. Look left. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice big exhale. Come back to center. Nice and gentle, nice and slow. Hug both knees into your chest one last time. Hug your nose towards your knees. So give yourself a little ball pose, a nice big squeeze, everything. And thank yourself for coming to yoga today, for giving yourself 60 whole minutes that are just for you, because you are so worth it. And on inhale, squeeze every part of your body, your fingers, your toes, your ears, your eyes, your nose. And exhale, resting pose, Shavasana. Make yourself nice and comfortable here. Take up lots of space. Let your legs come out, splaying out. Let your feet roll outward. And bring your arms out a little bit more away from your body to allow your shoulders to just melt down into the mat. All of our work thus far has really been leading up to this pose, this most important rest and integration pose. And we'll let you know when it is time to come back, although I invite you to stay as long as you like to if you have the time. Enjoy Shavasana. Again, my friends, if you have the time and the space and you want to remain in this resting place, please do. Please enjoy. If it is time for you to move on to the next part of your amazing day ahead, start to allow a little more awareness into your body, to deepen your breath, and allow any supportive thoughts and feelings to wash in. And start to make little micro movements. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and your toes and rotate your wrists and ankles. Awakening back into your body. And then letting that go in the most gentle way. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your side of choice. Allow your lower arm to support your head. And just lie on your side for one moment. Take a breath or two. And just feel that sensation through your body on the mat. Feel the support of the mat below. The support that comes from your yoga practice. And feel that eternal grounding support of the earth below that. And then, once again, in the most gentle, slow way, find a comfortable seat. Press yourself up. Option to keep your eyes closed. And bring your hands to heart center. And reminding, if it's a helpful mantra to you, as you come out into you go back off the mat out into the world and things start to speed up. You always have the opportunity to slow things down. What if you tried it a little slower? Maybe slower breath. Just one inhale, just one exhale. Walk a little slower. Taste your food a little slower. Little moments like that. And with that, my friends, I hope you have a blessed, beautiful, amazing rest of your Saturday. The teacher in me honors, thanks, appreciates the teacher in me. Namaste.